Cool. Welcome back, Fun Fam. And if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to Follow the Bradley's Fun. This is the Daily Dish with your host. That's me, yours truly, Ron E. Bradley. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, wherever you are. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Speaking of the day, as of the recording of this and the live stream, it is the 12th day of June in the year 2025. Let's see if I can hear myself. Yes, I can. I've been having some technical difficulties. So it's like after I started the stream, I was running around and making sure everything was working because I'm like, why is my stuff not working? Anyhow, yes, indeed. I hope that you're having a phenomenal day, morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whenever you're watching. So if you didn't see comments come up, and normally you would see like your comments come up, like Tom F. Hey, all, good morning. Good morning, Tom F. Good morning to you. And Snortopupus is here. And normally I would run all of those comments during the opening of the show, and I wasn't able to because I was running around doing other stuff. And as it turns out, and I know this is going to sound really weird, but I'm only one person. So I wish I had a team of producers. I've got some help today with the show, and you'll see that in just a few minutes, but I don't have the big money backing that other channels have. And so we are low budget here. Hopefully we can bring you all the news that should be fun, even if it's low budget, and hopefully you guys have a good time with us. Thank you so much for being here today. Oh, I had to caffeinate, had to get the energy, had to get the energon going because I need to be here for you. Even after last night, I was up until, of course, if you all saw anybody that saw the pro show last night and is just waking up to this today, I was on the pro show until very, very late. Get sleep, get up, try to figure out what I'm going to do on this show. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. Again. Yeah, it is. This is how I felt about getting up early this morning.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No, God!
But thank you so much for being here, because think about you guys, and you give me the energy to be here. You're the energon to my Autobot. You're the energon that makes this guy transform and roll out of bed to be here with you in the morning.
A toast, Autobots. Boy, these are good. I needed to refuel. Energy! This stuff's the greatest!
So let's see who we have all here in the chat this morning. So far, we have, let's see, Snortopupus Cuber is in the house. How you doing, Snortopupus Cuber? Tom F is in the house and in the house. I'm going to ask you about this in a second. Coffined up. And are you a vampire? Are you all coffined up? Fairbrooks, what up? Wayne, good to see you, buddy. And Equus Heart is here. Hello, dear. Good to see you, Equus Heart, in the chat. And let's see who else is here. The Bud Files are coming in. And my mom is here. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, everybody. Say hi to my mom. And let's see who else is here.
Doc, calm down, okay? Just calm down. It's me. It's Marty.
No, it can't be you! I sent you back to the future!
Hey, Doc, that's right, but I came back again. I came back from the future. Don't you remember last night? You fainted. I brought you home.
This can't be happening! You can't be here! It doesn't make sense for you to be here! I refuse to even believe that you are here!
So are you the Doc then?
I guess that would make me the Doc. You're the Marty.
Oh no. I'm too hairy to be Marty.
Well, you're back from the future.
Yeah, 50 years.
Yeah. You know, they said they'll never do that movie again, and yet at the same time, I think that Back to the Future now would be such an interesting thing to start in the year 2025 and go back to the year 1995, which is, you know, the 30-year gap from 85 to 55 felt like a huge difference.
Yeah.
I don't know that the 30-year gap would feel as much like a difference now, because we've had the internet since 1995, even though it was dial up and slow back then.
Chat rooms.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
chat rooms for most of the people.
So I don't know. It would
Mine's
be
fine.
interesting. Well, welcome to the stage, Tom F.
How's it going, everybody?
Mr. Guitar Man and the Howling Wolf behind you. I'm trying to see all your guitars. You got green, you got blue, got some brown,
Oh,
yellow.
that's like a beach scene. It doesn't show up.
Okay.
It goes from blue to like a lighter blue to like a sand.
But is it like with like a drone shot from the top of a beach?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, that's kind of what
I'll show it to you in person one day. You'll be like, okay, you get it.
Yeah, I gotta get over there. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Did I send you the article about what happened in my neighborhood?
No, you didn't.
I can't really say the words, I think, during the live stream on my channel, because if I say what happened and I use the actual words, that could be a flag for YouTube, and I don't want to do that. But it was I'll have to send you the article about what happened over here, because it is it literally happened where I parked my car at night.
Oh,
so
lovely.
And it was not a good thing at all. And you know, I've had my car, and it's, you know, it's funny because I don't live in an area of Orlando that's considered not safe. I live right by Gatorland. I live in Hunters Creek. It's a nice area.
I know.
It's not considered a bad area at all, and it scares me that the bad stuff is creeping outward. Pine Hills is the area that you supposedly don't want to live in. And
yeah, but you know, when you think about it, if you're a person doing bad stuff, why are you going to do it in your own neighborhood? You're going to go into nice neighborhoods where you can get better stuff.
You know, well, the funny thing is, like, so when my car got broken into a year and a half ago, and it's happened not just with my car, but other, so they tried to steal my car. That's what happened. And they broke into it, finding out once I know they tried to steal the car because the dashboard was ripped off, and they had tried to use a device to start the car. They got the car. They moved it. They actually moved the car. That's what's so weird. So here's what I'm 100% sure happened. They broke in. They tried to steal the car. They didn't steal anything out of the car. That's what's so weird. Not a thing. I'm like, I don't know, probably $10 worth of coins there that they didn't touch, which is also weird. Like, why didn't they take the car? I don't know what they were going to try to do with the car, or if they're going to joyride, steal it, ditch it, whatever. But here's what happened. They went to steal the car and it's out of gas. There's a lot of times that, like, if I'm running around during the day, I am not going to get gas last thing at night, and oftentimes my car is sitting there with barely enough gas to get to a gas station, right? And so that's what happened. Then they moved it. They probably turned it on, realized that there was no gas, and then they're like, "Crap, what are we going to do? Let's ditch it over here." And so they moved it to a place where it wasn't initially parked, but still in the same parking lot. And let me tell you about the Orlando police. They did nothing. They came out, took a report. They could care less. They said it was a car thefts is low priority for them, which basically tells me, in my personal opinion, we don't have enough police. Because if you have enough police, then every crime is a priority. And it makes sense. It makes sense that the Orlando Police Department would not have enough police. You know why? Because of Orlando's leadership. The city of Orlando has probably some of the worst leadership in all of Florida.
Miami-Dade might be second.
Miami
Tied.
first, but I'm just saying that as far as our cities are concerned, Florida is a great place to live. Polk County, I mean, Polk County has like the best sheriff in the nation, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
I like Brevard.
Brevard.
I'm in Brevard.
But yeah, Orlando, Buddy Dyer, he's got an ongoing job, and he doesn't really.
I can't say it, Ron. I can't say it.
It's the local stuff here is not. It's just not great. We have new people coming in. Everest Carmageddon came in.
Everest says put a GPS and dash cam of your car. They'd steal it.
I have a dash cam. I have what I had to put on now is I had to put on the whatever that thing is called, the stick, the tool, the thing where you put it on your steering wheel. And the only place that I have to use it is my own neighborhood. What is that thing called? The lock, the stick, the
club.
The club. Yeah, mine's not that brand. It's
they don't
brand.
work, right?
Well, I mean, the idea is that if it's more of a deterrent than anything else.
Yeah, I know.
And if they can't get it off there, they can't steer the car. Tanner's here. Good morning, Tanner. Who else is here? Stuttering, guitar saves lives. I'm trying to see if anybody is in the chat. I didn't catch. Sorry about that. I don't have anything up here. Hold on a second. Let me see this, and then I got to put this up here too. We're going to get to some interesting RiRi Williams based stories today. Are you excited, Tom? Are you excited about Iron Heart on
This is my excited face.
Oh golly.
I think the cameo appearance first happened in 2016 in a comic.
No, Iron Heart first cameoed in was it
When it was Invincible Iron Man Volume 2.
It was Black Panther 2.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. No, yeah, she was. That's what's so funny about the story today is because we're going to end up addressing a story that talks about RDJ saying go watch this basically, but because that's what he's paid to do in the background. I mean, Marvel gave him how many hundreds of millions of dollars over the years? Probably half $500 million. No, not that much. Maybe, I don't know. They've given RDJ a ton of money.
If we got 30 seconds of that, we'd be set for life.
Oh yeah, by far he is set for life. By the way, for those of you that don't know, there is one person more than anyone else who is responsible for Robert Downey Jr. becoming a big, ginormous Iron Man celebrity. Do you know who it is, Tom?
No.
That would be Mel Gibson.
Say what?
Mel Gibson is responsible for Robert Downey Jr.
Oh.
Yeah, if it weren't for Mel Gibson, Robert Downey Jr. would have not gotten himself cleaned up. And it's because of Mel Gibson's help and encouragement getting RDJ cleaned up. And his wife, of course, RDJ's wife has helped out a ton because of the support she gives him. And she's his motivation for staying clean. But before, back in the early days, his career was having some issues with some substance that we don't.
I remember those. I remember those days.
Remember all that? He was in the news a lot for all the wrong reasons.
Yes, he was. I thought he was going to go away for a long, long, long time.
Yep, I think we all did, and at that point in time, it was the Charlie Chaplin movie that really was pushing him in Hollywood as far as his acting ability and stuff. But in my own mind, my theory is that the character that he played in Weird Science was actually young Tony Stark. That's I've got the I don't remember what name he was going by in that movie, but I just think of it as it's a funny thing to think about. Like it's he wasn't that interested in what his dad was doing for Stark Industries because his dad and him had that rift as far as their relationship was concerned. So it wasn't until the events of Weird Science that got him interested in, maybe science can do things that are pretty cool.
Yeah, Weird Science was I like that movie.
It's so funny to see RDJ in Weird Science. Lindsay Lohan, RDJ was the Lindsay Lohan or Justin Bieber of his era back then. But I don't think Lindsay Lohan's fixed her life the way RDJ has gotten his fixed up. So,
I hate to say this, but I'd rather look at Lindsay Lohan than RDJ. Just saying.
Gee, I wonder why. One of my tabs just went away. I don't know what happened. Let me see here. Let me get my share this up on the tab. Things are a little bit looser today than normal.
You got a long day today.
Yesterday was a much longer day because of going on the pro show late last night. So this is our spread shop for all the Bradley's Fun. You've probably seen it before. We've got a discount right now going on of 10% off on 3+ products. We've got the Make Disney Walt Again merch. We've got the Fedora Finds merch and our Follow the Bradley's Fun merch. The Family Avatar Spread Shop logo. Here is, let me see. I'm going to put the link up on the screen. If anybody buys anything during the show, let me know because we're going to celebrate it. We do have a goal of 5 super chats today. The goal is for you guys picking out where I go live next. So whether that's Universal Studios, Universal Islands of Adventure, and these are the places to choose from. Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, or any of the 4 Disney parks. And you guys would get to pick it wherever that's going to be. Now, I don't know when I'm going live at one of the parks next, but I'll let you guys pick, and then we'll go there. So if anybody buys anything from the spread shop during the show, or if there are any super chats, super thanks, super stickers, somebody becomes a member or memberships are dropped during the show, any of that kind of support, we will celebrate it. And what do our celebrations look like on this channel? Well, I will show you, but if you are a member of the channel, get your emojis ready to go because we want you to celebrate with us. And if you're not a member of the channel, we still want you to celebrate with us with fireworks or dance or any other type of emojis that you want to. And our celebration looks like this. ba, 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 ba. I know we can't put emojis on the screen from StreamYard, which I always thought is kind of weird.
Yeah, that is kind of odd. You think they just parsed them through?
Yeah, I don't know anything about. I don't know the technical side of stuff. You know, it's funny because I used to be really good at the technical side of stuff, and not so much anymore.
I don't know nothing about computers, Ron. Nothing at all.
I thought you were like a rocket scientist.
I supported rocket scientists.
Oh, supported rocket scientists. You just held them
With
up.
computers.
Okay, so Tom, you can tell me definitively, did our astronauts go to the moon, or was that all a Hollywood set back in 1972?
You really put me on the spot with that one, Ron. You know, there's some things if I tell you, I'm going to have to, have a talk with you sternly afterwards.
Well, look, all I'm saying is that I've been out to NASA, and what?
From what we've seen, we've been there. From what I've seen, we've been there.
Yeah, and here's my simple thing is like they built a 30-story tall rocket ship. They spent a lot of money, and I'm like, what would be the point of spending the tax? I mean, obviously the government does all kinds of stupid things, but they certainly spent a lot on things that happened or that they showed us were happening in ways that they could show us were happening in 2020 and 2021 and 2022. Yes, there was a lot of money spent on that. That I have a lot of issues with. But as far as the race to the moon or the space racer, I mean, it's hard for me. I wasn't born until 71. So all of that stuff was just slightly before my time. And there was Vietnam was going on and all that kind of stuff. So I really don't understand the politics of it. There's just certain things, certain conspiracy theories that are out there that I have to say, it doesn't make any sense why leadership of the world would want us to think one way over the other way. And the biggest one for me is the flat earth thing.
Don't get me started on that.
I'm like, because a lot of flat earthers also fall more to the right. And I'm like, that is so weird to me. I'm like, there are some simple observations from somebody who's been skydiving, which I have, and spent plenty of time in 30,000 feet in airplanes and everything else. I'm like,
anybody who's been in an airplane can see curvature.
I don't understand the point. What if they were trying to dupe us? What would be the point of that? Because it doesn't make any sense.
Make everything to go in a circle. That's sarcasm, Ron. That's sarcasm.
I know. It's one of those weird things that I just do not understand.
There's a valid point in chat.
Well, yeah.
If Earth was flat, all the cats would have pushed everything off of it already.
Exactly. And while I may say, I think that gravity doesn't exactly work the way science thinks it works, because
Gravity
think that
Sorry.
What's that? Gravity sucks.
sucks.
Well, I mean, yeah.
As you get older, you hate it more.
It's such an interesting force because I just don't think that we understand it the same way that science does not understand that moment that a new life is created. Scientists still hasn't figured out what exactly are all the processes that takes this one cell and this one cell, puts them together, and they become a brand new life. And all of the processes that make that happen, because they happen so almost instantaneously that, a few hours later, you have a very obvious developing creature, whether that's human or any other kind of animal, when that's the process. But there's a lot of things that science hasn't figured out, and there's plenty of things that science will never figure out, and that's okay. But I'm a person I'm very religious on one side, very spiritual, but also very scientific minded on my other side. I think about things that way, and there are just certain things that I think your conspiracy theories, sometimes they're right on, and sometimes they're so off the mark that it's ridiculous. So
Everybody's going to have a difference of opinion no matter which way you point it, and you can put the best evidence in the world in front of them, and people are still not going to be, they're going to be set in what they want to believe. It takes a lot to change somebody's mind who is very closed-minded, and that's, what happens. They get set, they learn one thing, and they don't deter from that path. They won't accept any other reality, so to speak.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. It's just my experience in life, but this is a huge generality, by the way, but in my huge generality, I have personally found that people that typically fall a little bit more like lean politically more to the right seem to me to be more open-minded in general than people that fall politically to the left. And what I mean by that is once people really accept that leftist view, they will not veer from it. They will fight to the death for it.
Well, I'm gonna push on you because I've known a lot of people that went the opposite way. Growing up where I grew up, in Jersey and stuff, I've seen a lot of people that were dying a wool left, lifelong Democrats, everything else. And I'm not saying they went Republican, but they went more centrist. And they looked at some of the stuff, and what was considered Democratic back then to now is completely perverted compared to what it is. 30 years ago to now, it's not even close to being the same thing.
That is so true.
And it's made a lot of people rethink their views. Politics are actually into more stuff than it should be. And like now, it's like I have no use for it, really.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. I'm talking about people that are very on the far fringe, the fringe left, who have kind of captured, unfortunately, there's fewer in the middle, and I've always felt like I'm kind of a middle person more so than on the right. But
I try to stay in the middle lane on 95 because if you stay in the left lane, you get run over. You stay in the right lane, you get run over. In the middle, you're kind of safe.
Yeah. I don't know. Isn't that the opposite of what Mr. Miyagi said? He was like, middle smash like grape. Let me start getting stories up on the screen. And I'm going to double check. It's really funny when I go to that park place. I always have to refresh because we could get breaking stuff during the show. What do we want to start with, Tom, before we get to the RiRi stuff? Do we want to start with how bad the Thunderbolts is doing? Or do we want to start with that Superman looks better than Fantastic Four, or Harry Potter casting? What do you think?
Let's do the Harry Potter casting because Superman kind of bums me out. and the Thunderbolts, that's a has-been. We already know it's junk.
It's funny. Like I said, hey, what's up, Linda? Linda F is here. Better late than never. That's funny.
My wife is talking.
Did you watch Thunderbolts? Did you see it?
Yes, I did. And I feel my therapist is upset that I paid to see that instead of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like a therapy session. So, my biggest question about that movie, if you've seen it, there's going to be spoilers here for a second, is the Florence Pugh's version of the Black Widow character that's not being called Black Widow. Black Widow's little sister. Anyway, there's that point,
Spider maybe,
where she makes a conscious decision to walk into what looks like, imminent destruction of her body and soul. And she walks into it, and then she meets up with Sentry, with Bob. And so my question has always been in that moment, did she know what was going to happen, or was she trying to,
Did she realize that there's a bug spray called Sentry?
I don't know.
And it kills spiders.
Is there a
Just saying.
sentry bug spray?
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
That's cool. I really like the character of Sentry in the Void, but when I look at the movie, I'm like, this could have been a way better movie if it was called Sentry, and if they would have focused on and gotten the Seinfeld lady, what's her name?
I'm bad at that.
I know. But anyway, the lady that came from Seinfeld, they did not need her character. She does it, and every time she comes on the screen in anything that she's been on in the MCU, she feels out of place. Julia Louis Dreyfus, I believe, is her name, the actress's name, and she just feels, to me, out of place every single time she comes on the screen. Maybe because she's always played a comedic role. I think she was on SNL. She was on Seinfeld. She's a comedic role in Christmas Vacation. And so it's even at her age, it's impossible for me to see her as anything other than comedic. And the way she delivers her lines are very much the way she delivered lines in the past that were supposed to be comedy related. Yet they're not in any of this. So it felt off every time I saw her and she was uttering lines on the screen. I'm like, even if they needed that character, could they not have gotten somebody else to play her? I like Julia Louis Dreyfus, just not in that role at all. And it bothered me. But my biggest problem with Marvel lately is that the misfires had so much potential. Like here's my perfect example. WandaVision. 6 months after WandaVision, we should have gotten the Vision series or a Vision movie.
Yeah. Instead, we got this other spinoff that
we got Agatha, and Agatha happened years later, and they have lost their ability to tell the cohesive story the way that they were telling the cohesive story up until Endgame. Captain Marvel was a huge misfire, even though it made $1 billion between, like, the way they introduced Captain Marvel between Infinity War and Endgame, and then she came in and then she played the dumbest role in Endgame. And then they had the all-female meetup thing, and you're like, oh god. And you could the writing was on the wall. and now we've seen Marvel just fail after fail after fail. It's sad. So, on that note, let's hit Harry Potter instead. Shall we?
Let's go for it.
New Harry Potter casting gets it right. With visually accurate choices, but Snape remains a cause for concern out of that Park Place. If you're not bookmarked, bookmark it. This is Raven Redgrave's story. There's Harry Potter from the original movie series, but now there's a new HBO series coming along. HBO showed more casting announcements for the Harry Potter series. This round, casting extends the ensemble with a mix of established and emerging talent, promising a layered portrayal of the Wizarding World's characters. Fresh faces for the Wizarding World. The official Harry Potter website shared news of the casting with images of the actors, and in a refreshing change of pace, these actors actually look like they're assigned roles. There's a spread of, I'm assuming these all look like headshots to me. So I think those probably are just headshots of the different actors that are coming to play the various roles in the Harry Potter series. Joining the ensemble are Catherine Parkinson as Molly Weasley, Lox Pratt and Johnny Flynn as Draco and Lucius Malfoy, respectively, and a host of other familiar faces, including Seamus Finnegan, Parvati Patil, Lavender Brown, Petunia, and Vernon Dursley, and the new Minister of Magic, Cornelius Fudge. These announcements follow earlier reveals of major roles such as John Lithgow as Albus Dumbledore, alongside the main trio of Dominic McLaughlin as Harry Potter Arabella Stanton as Hermione Granger, and Alistair Stout as Ron Weasley. Among Hogwarts students, Leo Early takes on Seamus Finnegan. Alicia Leone portrays Parvati Patil, and Sienna Musa, these are difficult names, steps into the role of Lavender Brown. On the non-magical front, Belle Powley and Daniel Rigby bring life to Petunia and Vernon Dursley, the often antagonistic Muggle relatives of Harry. Bertie Carvel, a double Olivier and Tony Award winner, will assume the role of Cornelius Fudge, the ever-contentious Minister for Magic. Reaction and reflection on earlier casting choices. Well, while the new announcements have largely been welcome, they've arrived amid ongoing debate about some of the series' earlier casting decisions. Most notably, the choice of Papa Essiedu as Severus Snape. That is an interesting choice. Visually,
he's a good actor. I don't see him as Snape. I can't, it just doesn't fit the book or nothing.
And see, I am not a big enough Harry Potter fan to understand much about who Snape was in the books. In the movies, we have a very clear visual and, acting.
It's in the books too.
Is that how Snape was in the books?
Yeah, he's described as pale, gangly, kind of hideous looking, and some of the stuff that's done to him. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. All right, greasy black hair and everything else. He's supposed to look, snakish.
Well, I mean, the guy could look snakish. Interesting.
Like a weasel.
Yeah. The casting of Siedu, a talented actor praised in other works, sparked widespread disapproval from fans and critics alike. Even supporters of flexible casting practices expressed reservations, agreeing that Snape was an ill-advised character for such a departure. J.K. Rowling described him very specifically in the books as pale, sallow, with greasy black hair. Well, I mean, they could definitely give him a greasy black hair wig, but it might look like Soul Glow from Coming to America. He's got that soul glow.
The thing is this: if he can pull the role off, good. But for them are they casting him just for the shock value?
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people, I think, are asking these days.
Because honestly, if they are, that's no fair to the actor.
I don't really understand why any casting for any role is purposefully changing the appearance of a well-established character. And I think one of the biggest ones that we've seen was The Little Mermaid. Because here's what happened for The Little Mermaid. When they cast who they cast in the role for the live action, they literally had to change the entire setting of the story around her casting. They had to change it to now it's not an island in France, it's an island in the Caribbean. The royalty is different. While I didn't even when I watched the live action Little Mermaid, I didn't hate it. It was there was some cute things about it. Had it been the first iteration of the Little Mermaid,
easily, I said this before, made her a cousin of Ariel and had a whole nother princess born, had a whole nother line going on it, and made a really good story out of it.
Exactly. And that was my issue. It's like, okay, she's her own thing, but not Ariel. And the reason I don't like that, this is a personal thing. For example, there's this new controversial casting about the Black Panther being a white guy. And I think it's just in the comic books. I don't know if it's going to happen in the movies, but my issue with it is I feel like anytime you're taking an established character and giving it to somebody new like that, it's a sloppy seconds type of a thing. And why would you want that? Nobody wants that. I wouldn't want it. there's just certain roles that if they've been established a certain way, I wouldn't want to play them because I first of all, I feel like the comparison's always going to be there to the last person that did it. And when that comparison involves anything other than just your acting ability, it's bad. Like you look at the Joker role. Okay, the Joker role has been passed on to a lot of different people, and people have made the comparisons. Like when Heath Ledger was cast and he had to fill the shoes, fill the shoes of Jack Nicholson, people were making a comparison. But none of that mattered once they saw him on the screen and saw the acting. Okay. So it was about the acting, and there were differences in the character a little bit and stuff, but the essence of the Joker was still there. And you watch the new Little Mermaid and like, okay, she's a Little Mermaid. She's not Ariel. And by the way, she looks like she's, 25 and not 16. And Halle Bailey, it's nothing wrong with the way she looks.
No.
but this does not, like, Ariel was supposed to be this wide-eyed, innocent 16-year-old, and that's actually in the new live action show, and I'm surprised they didn't take it out. The new live action show at Disney, she's very specific about being 16 years old, and they do that because it's aimed at little kids, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds. They think of a 16-year-old as much, much older than they really are. Yes. So it's about perspective. But when they do this kind of race swap stuff, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yes, Jodie Benson was fabulous, and it is one of the most interesting things. There's a behind the scenes thing that I've seen with Jodie Benson in it. And it has to do with the way she was coached to sing the role. And it's exactly the opposite of that kind of Broadway pop mix belting voice of Halle Bailey, because they wanted Ariel to seem innocent and demure. And I have the same issue with the new Snow White, is that Waiting on a Wish song, that's like Broadway pop mix belting, which is the exact opposite of Snow White's voice and character in the original animation. In other words, it's not the same character. And when you change the character, that it's huge. The story is not the same. By the way, I tried to start watching the new Snow White the other day. Oh God, it's awful.
Why?
I to critique it, but
it's when something
is so hard to watch that you can't even critique it. Oh my gosh, it's bad.
You have an emote that says weird. There's a reason for that.
Weird. Yes.
It's weird.
It's worse than weird. Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
So you got to make a new emote and say crap.
The opening song, I think it's entitled "We Love Living in a Communistic Country," and the lazy people here are the happiest because they don't have to work for what they have. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. Let's get back to our Harry Potter friends.
We wandered, didn't we?
We wandered a little bit. That's okay. Navigating fan expectations and creative vision. The Harry Potter fandom is notoriously passionate and protective of the original material, making any major adaptation a delicate endeavor. Fan reactions to casting often reflect broader questions. How much can a character be changed before they become someone else entirely? That's exactly what we were talking about. Like
they can be changed forever.
So these characters, okay, there's the casting of Harry Potter, Hermione, and Weasley, right? The official Harry Potter trio with Arabella Stanton as Hermione Granger, Dominic McLaughlin as the titular Harry Potter, and Alistair Stout as Ron Weasley from HBO. Francesca Gardiner, the series writer and executive producer, along with the director Mark Milad, I don't know how to pronounce that, have emphasized the goal of a faithful adaptation that respects the source material, yet casting choices, whether celebrated or contested, demonstrate inherent complexities and reinterpreting characters who have been part of pop culture for 2 decades.
Okay, 2 decades of Snape.
True.
2 decades of these characters, people's minds.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a lot. It's the Snape part is going to make it very difficult.
And you've seen those rumors about him supposedly getting fired or stepping away. I don't know the particulars on that. People are talking about it.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. A lot of times I think the biggest problem here is the fact that they're doing it at all. The creative bankruptcy of Hollywood. And well, what if we explored these? Like, how instead of asking, what if
another character? Take somebody who's not that set in stone.
I'll have to tell you. I'm going to tell you, not right now, but I'm going to tell you privately my idea for a completely new thing. I just don't know. I'm not a writer, so I wouldn't be really great at writing.
I have some ideas, but most of them will get me thrown probably in the slammer.
But yeah, we'll leave that story there. It is what it is. But I don't see it going anywhere. We've got a couple stories about Iron Heart dislikes surge on the new Iron Heart trailer, while original trailer surpasses 500,000 downvotes. I don't even know why that many people watched the trailer in the first place, because it's that bad of a thing. But we're going to get this next story on the screen because I definitely want to discuss this one with Tom.
Do I
Iron Heart you volunteered to be here.
Yeah, I know. I'm teasing.
So I don't know. Is it good news? Is it bad news? What do you think? I mean, we'll tackle it this way.
I have news.
What type of news is it?
Well, to be perfectly frank, it's bad.
Maybe if you tell me the bad news in a good way, it won't sound so bad.
The bad news in a good way.
Yes, I can do that.
Oh, well, here goes. Wait till you hear this.
There you go. The bad news in a good way. Iron Heart star thinks you should watch her show because Robert Downey Jr. supposedly likes it. This is by our good friend Marvin Montanaro out of thatparkplace.com. Please bookmark it if you haven't. She looks so utterly confident in this picture, doesn't she, Tom?
She kind of looks like, why am I staying in this line at DMV? I'm not supposed to be here for another half hour.
It's really weird. The Iron Heart thing, she looks a little bit more like RoboCop than an Iron Man type suit. It's yeah. It's clear sign.
It looks like, that suit kind of looks more like something Gundam.
Yanking Gundam style. Bam, bam, bam.
And I see what I did there.
Yeah. Let's check this out. Dominique Thorne. That's the young lady who's playing the role. Dominique Thorne wants Marvel fans to get on the Iron Heart bandwagon, and she says RDJ is already riding shotgun. I mean, where else is he going
to pay him to do that?
I know he's getting paid, I'm sure. Is that enough to sell a series few were asking for? Few, as in like no one was asking for this. Nobody that I know of wanted an Iron Heart series.
You got to figure, when did they decide to come up with this?
I think it was done filming in 2022, which is like 3 years ago.
So 2017?
I guess. Must have been. As soon as they kicked Ike Perlmutter to the curb, they started creating all this stuff that nobody would like. With Iron Heart still on the horizon and hype running, low. Marvel is leaning heavily on borrowed nostalgia and to convince audiences that RiRi Williams is the rightful heir to Tony Stark's legacy. But longtime fans aren't convinced, and Thorne's latest remarks might be adding fuel to the skepticism. Thorne invokes RDJ as a stamp of approval for Ironheart. When asked about comparisons between RiRi Williams and Iron Man, Dominique Thorne confidently told fans, "Get on board." The reference to Robert Downey Jr. comes from a brief encounter the two shared, which Thorne previously described as exciting and involving a literal double thumbs up. That's an anecdote that's now being treated by Marvel as a symbolic torch passing, despite no narrative connection between Iron Man and Ironheart in the MCU itself.
So that picture with her holding the soldering iron, she's supposed to be like a super genius, right?
Well, I think she's supposed to be at the same
Like
school.
MIT, something like that.
Right.
And, using a $10 soldering iron from Radio Shack or Amazon.
I don't, here's my question. I thought that the technology for his battery, if you call it that, was proprietary and that nobody else could ever figure out how to do that except for Tony Stark. That was kind of the whole point. He built it with a box of scraps in a cave and nobody else could do that. And then I don't know, she's without any connection between the two has come up with something that's similar, apparently, which is just that's the problem with these stories. They're convoluted, and I want to talk about that in just a minute. The spiritual link is pure marketing. Marvel's gone out of its way to frame RiRi and Tony as spiritually connected, but in reality, the two never shared screen time, never shared dialogue, or even acknowledgement. Tony Stark died in Avengers Endgame. RiRi Williams was introduced years later in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever in a subplot many viewers saw as a Disney Plus backdoor pilot because, well, that's exactly what it was. Trying to position this as a continuation of Iron Man's legacy feels less like storytelling and more like checklist branding. It's not earned, it's engineered. It's poorly engineered, by the way. Stark's grit erased to elevate Ironheart. Thorne has previously framed RiRi's resourcefulness as superior to Tony Stark's privilege. She's dumpster diving, whereas Tony Stark was this bajillionaire, she said, placing her character above the beloved Marvel icon. What she's able to accomplish is remarkable. Oh, God, I hate that stuff. But fans quickly pointed out that Stark's origin wasn't about luxury. He built his first suit while being held captive using junk parts to survive, not to show off. His arc, pun intended, was about redemption and sacrifice, not just wealth. The repeated downplaying of that story to make Ironheart seem more authentic it's starting to wear thin. Boy, no, it started to wear thin a long time ago. The legacy was never earned. The MCU used to build its icons across multiple films. Tony Stark earned his spot through hardship, loss, and evolution. RiRi Williams was thrust into a supporting role and now headlines a Phase 5 finale with no build-up. Do you have any interest at all in this, Tom?
For one.
You have
effects. That's about it.
So the effects.
Sorry. I want to see what they can do with the green screen.
I will tell you, my interest in Ironheart has nothing to do with her character. There is a villain character that I don't know why it's this property that he's getting introduced in, but I'm very, very curious as to what they do with the Hood.
Well, he's from the Hood.
Well, he's from the.
Is he going to have guns, or is he going to have?
Well, he's supposed to be magic. That he's supposed to be in the same, like his cloak or whatever is supposed to give him some magical powers.
That's what I'm going to say. Is he going to? They're going to screw him up and give him guns and.
Oh man! See, and then I hope not. Like I hope he's actually, because in the comics he kind of transforms into this like crazy creature that can claw people apart, and I'm just very interested in how they're going to pull that off. And but Good going, Shogi. I love this. There's a comment right there. Taking a role in a Marvel property is career death now.
Unless you don't have a career, then go for it.
Well, yeah,
It's a free payday.
It's really funny when you think about what it used to mean to be in the MCU. It used to be so exciting. I have a friend. I have a friend, an acquaintance that's actually in the MCU, and I thought he did a phenomenal job in his role. When I first saw him, when I first saw, I can't remember whether I saw his announcement on Facebook first or whether I saw him in the show. But I know he put on Facebook that he was at the red carpet event for it, and it's for Hawkeye. He's in Hawkeye, the series.
Okay.
And he's a member of the Tracksuit Mafia. He lives here, closer to you than to me, actually. Here in Florida. He's a great guy. He's also got a YouTube channel. Love him to death. And he plays, I can't remember his name in the Tracksuit Mafia, but he's really funny and really good in the role. He's the guy that at one point in time, they're pushing around. He's actually ends up falling back, and he's in like a shopping cart while they're in this really big fight. And it's he's like the second in command in Tracksuit Mafia.
Cool.
And and so he's got a decent role. And because of Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld, who I like as an actress, they both to me did a good job. It's actually there's a cheesiness to that show that I enjoy, the Hawkeye show. They don't have superpowers, which is, I kind of like watching heroes that don't have superpowers and they have to use some type of technology. And the Hawkeye show is the only place where you get the variety of different arrows that he has available, including the Pym arrow, which is hilarious. The way they use that. And it's, a lot of people don't like the Hawkeye show. It was kind of divisive, but for me, it's fun. And I like it as a Christmas property. So there's 2 MCU Christmas properties that are very specifically Christmas properties. Actually, Iron Man 3 technically could be considered one as well. But at Christmas time, if you want Christmas MCU, there's Guardians of the Galaxy, very much a Christmas special.
Yeah.
And there's Hawkeye, which is you watch at Christmas because it takes place at Christmas time. And why Hawkeye and Spider-Man never cross paths, even though those 2 movies take place right at the same time?
That's a mystery.
It's a mystery. It's really weird. The same tree, Rockefeller Center tree, is in both those properties.
Have you ever been there to see the tree in person?
Not the tree. I've been to Rockefeller Center. As a matter of fact, that's where I proposed.
Christmas time.
I'd love to go there Christmas time.
It was a real awesome place.
Yeah. No, I'd love to go there at Christmas time. But basically, like the conclusion of the story for me is, I've got access to it. So I'm hoping that it's watchable. Like there are so many things that come out now that
maybe I'll make Linda watch it. I won't have to.
If we do watch parties on Pro, it may happen. I might watch it. There are some things that have so little interest that even Pro won't touch them. So,
like the Smurfs.
Oh God, that's horrid. We don't want to go there. Smurfs has always been. It's weird. Like, and for example, did you know that there is a new Pedro Pascal, Chris Evans movie coming to the theaters in the next week or 2?
What is it called?
Yeah, exactly.
Uncle Rainbow in his fun time.
What is it called? It's some love story movie. I don't know. It's like a soap opera type of thing. I just saw one ad for it, and I'm like, really? He's hit Pedro again? Whatever. Anyhow, Linda also says nope. Don't watch Disney movies. I know. See, Average Carmageddon, we watch these things so that you don't have to, and we can entertain you with our reviews about how crappy they are.
So, tell you what, if I have to watch it, I want to get on the show with you, Ron. You got to push for me to get on there so I can make fun of it.
All right. That's not a difficult thing to do.
Now start talking like this.
I don't know.
Okay.
Turn it down just a little bit. There it is. Everest Carmageddon says it. The Materialists. Yes. Thank you for finding that, because I wasn't even going to bother. It's called The Materialist. Yeah.
Shouldn't it be the Rainbow Rider?
I don't know what it's about. It's some stupid
Summer Sizzler?
I guess that, like, it would be really, really funny without Pro's permission if you see next summer come in. This summer 2026 coming to a theater near you, starring Pedro Pascal, comes Summer Sizzle.
I think that'd be libel.
Let me lick my popsicle stick. What's up, Fairbrooks? How you doing? Thank you for being here today, Tom. We've got to move on and move everybody over to our good friend Culture Casino.
Yeah, I gotta go mod.
Culture comes right up now, and then he streams over to Chris Evans looks unwell in that trailer. You're not wrong, 47. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's not good. Culture Casino, don't change the dial. We're here. We go over to Culture, tell Culture I said hi. They go over to that Park Place. They go over to Pro. And so on and so forth. You do not need to change your dial today for entertainment, for all the news that should be fun all day long in our That Park Place network. And let's do, as a matter of fact, one more little celebration for everybody that is been here and been in the chat. A little Culture Bear. Yay, Culture Bear!
Okay.
Tom, anything you want to shout out before?
Well, I'm usually screen crashing on, your stream, Lorena's, and I'm swinging one of these around.
Yes, Tom is the wrench, the mod, the super mod who's everywhere, and we absolutely appreciate you. And on your own channel, you've got some.
Yeah, I got some rockets going up. I should be. I'm trying to put together some stuff. Taking a look at some gimbals and some other things, and maybe start trying to get better launch videos.
Get one that doesn't give you Dutch angles all the time. Although mine didn't used to do that. I don't know why it does that.
I've been scoping some out, and I just got to do some creative accounting and try to get something.
Pam is here. Pam, Snortopoopas, Linda, Go and Shogi, everybody that's been here. Jessica Lynn, Original Studios, good morning. Don't change that dial. We are going to send you right over to Culture Casinos. You are very welcome, Avarice Carmageddon. We will do our best to keep watching the things that make us sick to our stomachs so that you don't have to get sick to yours. Thank you for being here today, Tom. Thank you for everybody being here today in the chat. And until next time, we will see ya real soon. Goodbye, everybody. Ciao.